as I said, Harmy, only once has either side come back from 2-0 down to win an Ashes. Ben Stokes has said that he hasn't given up hope, and nobody in his dressing room has given up hope. Well, he would. He would say that. Well, so I think some of us may have done that.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a long way back. That's not just 2-0. That's. I think technically it's a long way back. I think mentally it's a long way back. From a character point of view, it's a long way back. Personnel, I think it could be a long way back. I believe in Ben when he'll say we'll never give up hope, because the character of Ben Stokes, I don't think he will. Problem is, we ain't got 11 Ben Stokes. We've got Ben Stokes, Joe Root. You know, these are the Test match characters of battle-hardened players who have given themselves the best chance to get it right in the position to play. And I think the rest. It was worrying what he said after the game. Really worrying what he said after the game, because that's something he has not got close to saying in 3.5 years of being in charge of England. He's always been ultra positive, always been backing his players. He was implying a few things which, I mean, that's a bit worrying and scary.
Okay, well, before we talk about that, let's hear what you're referring to.
Saying that teams who come to Australia can't be, soft or weak, whatever it may be, because that's how it is out here. It is a tough place to come, but I see it as there's no room for that in a dressing room that I'm in charge of. So yeah, double-edged thing there. Can't come to Australia and be weak, but you also can't be in my dressing room if you are, and there is none of that. We pick people on ability and skill, but we also pick people on character and mentality. A few things that obviously need to be addressed when I think on that, but I know deep down that we've got characters who I know that can stand up to what we've got to do over the next 3 games.
That's England captain Ben Stokes, and that is a comment that, Harmy, you caused a sharp intake of breath, and that's 48 hours later from you, just thinking about it. No room for weak players in the England side. It does rather point towards changes in personnel for the third test in Adelaide, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It sounds like there's going to be a few changes. I'm not sure where they get them from. You were at the Oval, weren't you, Manners, for the India Test match? Is Josh Tongue coming in cold? Will he be in the same boat as what these three have been in, and not have enough overs under their belt? And we've seen what happened at the Oval when he wasn't quite ready. So they've got some huge headaches when it comes to selection, and that's just on their abilities point of view from a cricketing selection point of view. That's not covering what Ben Stokes is thinking and where he's gone with that comment of there's some weak players, because that's having a go at people and saying, well, we don't think they're mentally ready and up for this fight. That's more worrying than anything where they are technically. Do you know what I mean? So BAFFLED, does he come in for Pope? There's a possibility. I think Potts, for me, he is one of the only ones that can consistently hit a line in length. That bit fuller, where they were all far too short. Even Atkinson and Archer, who bowled nicely with a newish ball, were still, half a metre short. So I really don't know what to make of this. I was actually shell shocked, Manners, over the course of this last 2 or 3 days. More of disappointment than anger of where England have found themselves in the position they found themselves in, because I actually give these lads a chance. I believe they had a great chance of winning. And, I mean, they're going to lose the Ashes quicker than what Nasser Hussain's team did. And that was in that. And it was embarrassing.
It's hard to put your finger on it, really. But a number of, I think, very respectable commentators and journalists have said that actually it comes down to the basics: hitting a line and length, catching catches, and leaving the ball and not driving on the up. It's like Australia did the basics. 10 out of the 11 of their team played either 2 or 3 Sheffield Shield games. So they had a lot of competitive cricket under them. I mean, I understand. How many times over the last 2 or 3 years have we said that was a poor choice of words from the coaching staff or the players, or the captain? But when Brendon McCullum said, if anything, we were over prepared. If he'd said, you know what, we put 5 days of hard graft in at the Gabba nets and the Allan Border field, and if anything, the players may have been physically jaded, then that might have, that could have slipped through. That could have slipped by without causing the controversy of him saying, if anything, we were over prepared.
Well, the way I picked up on this, there's a couple of things picking up on it. One, he's trying to take pressure off his team. He's created a headline where the next 2 or 3 days it's going to be over prepared. So we're not going to be talking as much about Crawley's inability to hit a 5-metre length ball, back into the ground or through sort of cover point, as opposed to trying to hit it straight back down the ground. Ollie Pope the same. Harry Brook chasing wide ones. Our ability not being able to catch the ball, and our ability not to be able to put 2 balls in the same place on a regular basis. That's what should have been talked about. But we're going to constantly hear about England being over prepared. Now, if England were over prepared, with 12 days between first and second Test match, and they practiced for 5 days, all of us that are having a go at them before the first Test match saying they weren't prepared enough, I think we had a valued argument there, because if five practice days in 12 days going into a ping ball Test match is being over prepared, what on earth did they do before the first Test match? In between that, 2-day hit with 3-day hit with the Lions and all their mates in a very, very less hectic or intense environment. So if they were over prepared going into this one, what on earth were they going into the first one? So look, I think there was a lot of deflection from Brendon McCullum trying to take pressure off his team. And actually, I think a poor choice of words, whatever. Stokes had a poor choice of words when he said has-beens. He rode that one back. Will we hear Brendon row it back? Comes back to what Kesey said 6 months ago when he talked about Ben Duckett. He talked about the England cricket team in the media. Some things we've just got to toe the party line. Some things we've got to hold our counsel, and sometimes we've got to stop saying stupid things. Don't think the message is coming down from the managing director of international cricket to the players that he's employing, or the people that he's employing.
By the way, England need to take the Adelaide Test into day 5 to match Nasser Hussain's record of losing the Ashes in 11 days.
And that was, but man, that's the thing that's annoying me even more. It's like everybody has a go at Nasser's team that lost that, and you're going, that was against Warne, McGrath, Gillespie, Lee, Gilchrist, Hayden, Langer, Ponton, Steve Waugh. I'm missing somebody out. But Darren Lehman, Martin Love, I think that was the 12 that played against us in that 2003 side. We are largely getting beat by great bit of keeping up the stumps from Alex Carey, Travis Head, Steve Smith, Mitchell Stark, a little bit of Scott Boland. But that's it. That's who we're getting beat off. Our biggest team. That's part of the people that we're getting beat off. The majority of the time, we're getting beat by ourselves.
There's so much peripheral stuff, isn't there? I mean, we talk about the basics, but that when you lose, like England have, in the manner that they have, stories like Jofra Archer arriving with a pillow. I mean, if England had won at Perth, the same commentators, I reckon, would have been saying, well, that's quite sensible. That's showing confidence in the batsman. That's like your caddy taking your putter out on the tee of a par 3.
Exactly. I didn't mind the pillar. I don't mind them going to Noosa to play golf. They need to get away. I didn't mind the pillar bit. But, I mean, some of the other stuff, where the way they've been speaking is I mean, they just don't help themselves.
No, they don't. So let's leave it for now, because you don't really know. Normally, you've got a really strong idea of who might be in and who might be out. You know, your next career is going to be as a selector, but you
No,
you
I
haven't
ain't
got
a clue.
any answers or suggestions, have
I haven't
you?
got a clue. Honestly, I haven't got a clue. I'm trying to work out which batter I drop to get, which batter is going to get dropped because Jacob Bethel will come in. I mean, there are a few people muting Jacks going up the order. I mean, I wouldn't be massively in favour of that. I mean, they've invested heavily on Shoaib Bashir, and then they've pushed him to one side, sent him to play for the Lions and got belted for 100. So I don't think Bashir can come back in. I thought Jacks did quite well, so he deserves to keep his place. And it'll be, again, you're going to make a big rift between the batters and bowlers, because what's going to happen is we're 2-0 down. We've largely down to the fact that we're not able to drive. We're not even able to sort of execute our shots correctly in Australian conditions. And it's going to be two bowlers that's going to get left out. And, I mean, you want to portray being a tight-knit group, but all of a sudden, if I'm getting left out and I'm getting made an scapegoat, not getting rested, I'm getting made an scapegoat because I've just had 12 days off. I'm getting made an scapegoat from the first 2 test matches, and you're still picking a bloke who is averaging 14 in Ashes cricket. You're still picking a bloke who keeps driving balls to slip, missing, straight ball. All this thing comes between batters and bowlers, and that makes things a lot worse in the dressing room.